Anna's Gift Foundation is a very special organization. It was founded by my aunt, Liz Tamales, in honor of her daughter, Anna, who died of cancer at the age of 13. I'd now like to introduce you to Liz so she can tell us a bit more about Anna's Gift Foundation and what it does.
Thank you, Kristen. I'd love to tell you, so thank you so much for asking. So Anna's Gift Foundation was founded by my experience in the hospital with Anna. One day when I was in the hospital with her, she had a fever. She was physically in the bed, but she just wasn't there. She wasn't my normal kid. And it really, it just startled me. It actually frightened me a little bit. And so I just thought, okay, what can I do to help change the situation? Because I didn't like seeing my daughter like that. It really upset me. So I went out to a local craft store and I got some birdhouses and Anna's favorite colors of paints and her some stencils and some fun things. Yeah. And I brought it back to her room and I told her that we were making birdhouses, you know, painting them, etc. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" She thought I was a little nuts. And so anyhow, I started making mine. Because she was just like, "Okay, whatever, Mom, you do what you want."
Yeah.
So I put them both out and I started doing mine. And soon enough, Anna decided to start doing hers. I poured out her paint. I showed her everything that I got. And she started painting hers. And before you know it, the music was on and the TV was on. And she was singing. And my daughter was back.
Yeah.
And so that's really the reason why it was started, because I felt like I knew what happened to my daughter when I brought those things in for her. And I know that I'm not the only one. I know that I wasn't the only one, the only parent who has ever experienced that. And because it upset me so much, I wanted to be able to provide another parent and child with some relief also. So that's why.
So what feedback did you get about the kits from the teens and families?
Oh, okay. So we first made our first kits. We made 100 pillow kits. Myself and Anna's two sisters and two of their friends. We made 100 pillow kits and we brought them to a local hospital on Anna's birthday. And about a week later, the child life specialist called us and said, "Oh, these are fabulous. Make us more." So over time, we made more kits. We made different kits. And there's been a number of experiences relayed to us, some from the parents themselves and some from child life specialists. But the very first one that happened was just a few weeks after we had sent the pillow kits to the local hospital. And there was a dad who had a 16-year-old daughter in his room, and he came out to go find somebody to tell them how much he was so appreciative of the foundation because he had a 16-year-old daughter in his room making one of our pillows, and he had never seen her that happy in months. And that touched me so much that I knew that we were on the right track.
Yeah.
We were doing something to help other people. So then after that we got, over time it's just different people telling us stories. One of the fun stories that I loved was a woman who had a daughter in the hospital, and she was finally able to have visitors. And she was, I think, 11 or 12 years old, and one of her little friends come visit her. And so the parents, the two moms, went down to go get something to eat, and the girls were in the room. In the meantime, one of the child life specialists had brought some of our birdhouse kits to the kids in the room. And the parents, these two moms, walked into the room with these two girls, just like two little girls, just having fun, chit-chatting away, not like there's a care in the world, just being normal. And so that's really what we want, right? Is because being in the hospital, you experience a lot of losses, and
Yeah.
life is different. And so these kind of things can help kids and parents feel like there's some normalcy in their life and give them some joy.
So for people who have never experienced a long-term illness, can you help us understand what that's like?
So for our experience, and I think for a lot of kids' experiences, for long-term illnesses, Anna ended up not going to school. She was way too sick. She would have treatments every day for like 6 months. She was in the hospital or in the outpatient unit, and so when you have that kind of thing, you also lose contact. Now, she had a cell phone. There's plenty of text messages. At that time, there was MySpace, which is kind of like a Facebook or kind of like a Instagram or a Snapchat. She had all of those things, but there's still loneliness.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't get to be with your friends. You don't get to do the normal things that you want to do. And so for parents, for the kids, that's part of their experience, but for the parents, then that experience, they also witness that, and so their heart aches for their own kids. So it's really a tough thing. So when they see their child happy or joyful, doing the things that Anna's gift has for them, it makes them happy. It just helps to lighten the air. And it just makes them a lot happier, both the parents and the kids.
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
Well, thank you for coming and doing this interview with me.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for making a new kit for Anna's gift. And congratulations on your gold award.
Thank you.
You're welcome.